So, welcome to the very first episode of LOL Trust Me. I'm Lauren Lowski, as my dear guy has called me. I love it. At Lauren Blakely Hunt on Instagram. Today, for the very first episode of LOL Trust Me, we have two beautiful women that I love to call my friends. I'm honored to be in your presence today, and we're going to have a good conversation. You're going to help me figure some things out today. So, I will let you guys introduce yourselves, say your name, your Instagram handle, and we'll get started.
Okay, hi. I'm MJ. My Instagram is Jackie Marge, JACQUIEMARG. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to get into some talk.
Yay!
My Instagram handle is LoveDrina. Can you guys hear me? Mic check. Yes? Okay, great. Hi, my name is Audrina. My Instagram handle is LoveDrina, LoveDrina, DRINA.
Perfect. And so we're about to have a good conversation. So our conversation today, are y'all ready?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I have been single for the last, 2 years? And
In 2 years?
it's been 2 years. I don't know how long it's
Feels like
been.
a lot longer.
So I'm putting it in air quotes because I don't feel like I was being single intentionally. So is it like really being single? So you might say like, what is being single intentionally? I mean, like when I was single at first, I was sad single, right? And I don't think that's intentional. I think a lot of women, when we go through a breakup, we're like, oh my God, the world is different. When is it going to get back to feeling normal, right? And I don't know if you guys have ever felt this way, but there's a point where you shift and you be like, no, I'm actually pretty comfortable here. How can I better myself? Have you guys ever got to that point of singlehood?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So I feel like it's just recently, like literally the last like maybe 6 or 7 months where I was like, oh my God, I'm doing this intentionally now. I'm doing this because I want to do this. I have an option to do something different, but I don't want to. I have things that I have to get done. Relatable or no?
Relatable.
Okay, cool. So I want to talk about the top 3 things today, and I'll go ahead and tell you what the segments are that I deem, and I want to hear from you guys what you deem, if you have any input on like the top 3 things that women or men, we could talk about men too, because we do have a guy behind the camera, where we could talk about like what 3 things we should master to be intentionally single. And when I say intentional, I mean like at the end of that singleness, that means that you're ready to partner up and be in a serious relationship. So let's talk about our relationship status, and then we'll hop into the segments, and then we'll go ahead and dissect each segment. So you guys know I'm single, been single for 2 years after a 6 or 7 year relationship. Intentionally single now. How about you, MJ?
It's complicated.
Okay, it's complicated.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
So I have been dating somebody for about a year now.
Pull that up. Yep.
Let's see. Is that better?
Good? Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've been dating for about a year now, and we recently decided to take a break and
Okay.
like take space to really make sure this is something we want to do because we are dating intentionally, like dating for marriage. And after getting into a relationship or dating, we realized like, hey, before I make this jump and make a lifelong commitment, like am I fulfilled? Like, do I have everything I need? Like, I don't want to just jump into something out of like lust or even love. Like, I
Okay.
want it to be because it's productive. I want to be able to build with you. I want to be able to grow with you. And if those things are met and I don't feel like I'm on my purpose, then like maybe you're not my person, and that's okay because I still care about you as a person. And so that's where I'm at. We're kind of on that journey of making sure we're right for each other and not just
Did you say
with each other.
not even considering if you're in love?
Yes, I don't believe in dating for just love. Just like, because for me, love is like an emotional lust. Like it's easy to just get caught up in the traps of things and the neediness. And one thing I'm really focused on right now is loving without attachment.
Oh my
And
God.
loving just freely and just embodying love. So if I'm doing that, I can't be with you because it's like, oh, you're just my person and I love you. Like, can I actually be on my purpose and be happy and fulfilled and be the best version of myself? And you're matching that energy and we're on that same journey together.
Were you
I can love anybody.
correct? Were you intentionally single before this relationship?
I think I was. I think I
Okay, we're
was.
gonna talk about that because that's some higher level consciousness that I feel like. Okay, we're all in our 30s. I will say that. I hope I'm not putting anyone out. Are we?
29.
You 29? Ooh,
I was about to ask.
not you learning.
Yet.
Not you.
6
She's about to be the
months. Let me
teacher
have
too.
'em.
Okay, so let me speak for the two of us. Drina, go. You go ahead and say.
40 is knocking on the door.
Forty's knocking on the door. Stop. Are you in a relationship? Is it complicated? Are you intentionally single? What would you classify yourself?
I'm single. I don't believe that it's intentional.
Okay.
I've been single since 2019.
2021, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Shut
counting on
the
our
front
fingers.
door because I needed that. Oh my! But you would say you've not been intentionally single, but
No. So I feel like I'm in a place where I don't think I'm intentionally single. However, I'm still conflicted with whether I want to be seriously dating.
oh, okay. So we have two different sides of the coin here. I'm so excited to talk because okay. So we have. I would say you're where I was. You're where I want to be, and this is not in a bad way. I feel like we're all on different modes of like this spectrum. So where I was, where I want to be, and there's where I am presently. And so I have a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. But I'm going back full circle to you. So you were you were intentionally single before this. You said
I think so.
okay, and you were
Going with the flow.
going.
I feel that.
I feel that too.
Going with the flow.
I love that. So, and there's power in going with the flow too. So we're going to hit everything. So the three things that I think that we should master, are you guys ready? And we're going to talk about it. So the three things that I think that everyone should master, and I want you to tell me if you did this in your intentional single error, and if you have recognized that this is something that you think you need to do in your single error now to be more intentional, because this is where I am. So number one, I think that everyone needs to learn the art of living alone. Right? So that's segment one, how to live alone, like how to do that and really enjoy it and embrace it. Because people, we'll talk about it, myself included, scared, didn't like it, lonely, like wanted somebody to spend the night all the time, right? Number two, sex for one, please. I'm going to call it sex for one, please. And that's just about, I would say, like the art of learning your body and how to please yourself. Yep, self-pleasure, things like that. So we'll talk about that. Segment three, going solo. And that's just about literally going out in the world as an independent being, not having a partner with you, not having a girlfriend with you, boyfriend, like friend, mom, dad, whatever, going into the world. Those are my top three things. Off the top of the bat, can you guys think of, or off the top of your head, can you think of anything else that you might add to like top three things that you should master?
Self-love.
Self-love. Ooh, is any of that stuff not a form of self-love?
So it's a, sorry.
It is a form.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you can chime in.
Yeah, I was going to say it is a form, but I don't think it's everything. I think
Okay.
self-love is something that's intentional and it comes from within.
Okay.
And it's a feeling and it's a state of mind and a state of being.
Okay. So we're going to try to, I agree. So in every segment that we talk about today, we're going to try to figure out how we can embody or implement like acts of self-love or self-care. I don't know if it's synonymous into each segment. So I love that. So self-love. Anything else? That's probably the biggest thing.
Gratitude.
And gratitude. Okay. Higher
Gratitude is
consciousness.
extremely
Okay.
How
important.
old did you say you were?
29.
More wise than your.
I just feel like this the
29
new
years of life
baby's
here on
coming
Earth.
through.
Nah, it's the height for real. It's just I'm tall. Oh, you grown.
No, I love it. Okay, so we'll add to the list then self-love and gratitude. And I still feel like those can be found under the umbrellas of the three things. But if we do not hit them before we get off this segment today, we have to have like our own little thing about how to self-love and how to do gratitude if we don't hit it today. So let's get into it. Again, welcome to LOL Trust Me. Let's get started. Okay, so the art of living alone. So who in this room has lived alone?
Never.
Meaning, so we got a guy behind the camera. He raised his hand.
I've always lived alone.
What is always? Shut up.
Always lived alone.
So when have
I've
you?
never had roommates and none of that. Mm-mm.
Wha- okay,
got
friend,
I got my
this
dog.
world
ready?
No.
ready.
No, I mean, it's hard, girl. Bills is expensive. I
Right.
would sometimes be like, oh, I should get a little roommate or a little man or something. But honestly, no, I definitely feel like living alone and being able to have my own space and curate an environment for myself, I've gotten to have self-love and gratitude and peace.
Who's teaching you this, or do you feel like this came within? This is a sidebar moment because I need to know.
Right.
How have you gotten to this point where
us
at
the secret.
18 you knew that that's what you needed over the comfort of a partner?
Honestly, I don't think I knew that consciously. But if I'm being honest, I did have like I had a pretty hard or like traumatic childhood that really like made me grow up really fast. And so I just was always aware of like the fact that like no one else is gonna love me, so I need to love myself and I need to pour into myself.
How beautiful.
So for me, for the last like 10, 11 years, I've been on a journey of self-love and self-discovery to the point where now I'm finally getting to the point where I want to share that with other people because I know, like you said, other people are on different phases of their journey and I want to be able to, even if it's just one little tip or tidbit, like I just want to share that. So I honestly never really had anybody pour into me. I've always had a thirst for knowledge, and so I just seek that everywhere.
So you're just blessed with the thirst of.
I guess so. Yeah, I think God gives everybody gifts, and so
Thriving.
I would
That's
say
it-
that
that's
one of
yours.
mine is
Thriving.
wisdom, or like the thirst for knowledge. I think
Absolutely.
that's one of my gifts, and so yeah, I would say that.
Okay, I love it. I love that
beautiful.
you're here. Yeah, it's beautiful because it doesn't matter like our age gap. It doesn't matter that you're younger than me. Like you, since the day that I met you, have been inspiring me to literally push myself further. I would go as far as to say as like me having this conversation about how to be a healthy single today is in part contributed to the things we've been talking about in the books that you've been recommended to me. I'm like, okay, MJ, stop yelling at me. Okay, I hear
love
you.
that.
Yes. So let me go over to Drina. So how you said you have never lived alone?
I've never lived alone.
Like period.
Period.
There's no time.
Remember 40s knocking on the door.
Was it like
Stop
roommates,
it.
relationships, or like what was it?
I've lived with my family.
Oh, okay.
And some points of my life, I have lived with my partner. Let's put that in air quotes because it didn't last long.
Okay.
Fail. But
Ain't nothing to fail.
you're right. Yeah, no, I've never lived alone. But I do know that it is very important because I am hungry.
You're
live
hungry for it.
alone.
Oh, you know you.
In this economy, it's
Girl.
So we
not
back to that.
feasible.
No.
So I will be home until somebody puts a ring on the finger. Replace this ring, please. Okay. Thanks.
So we about to learn about you mastering your art of living alone, so that somebody could put that ring on the finger. Okay, if we're saying that the top 3 things that I said to be true for mastering to be prepared are true, then we got to figure it out, friend. We got to figure it out then,
But you want
because
to know what's the funny about
Yes.
me being hungry about wanting to live alone?
yes,
The hustle bone is not in my body, so I need some help.
you got some points of advice. You got
It's so like that. But you know, the big part about that aspect of my life is that it's important to know who you are within,
Okay.
and what you want to do, and what makes you happy.
period. Yes.
If you don't know that, what am I hustling for?
But you know what? You're segueing me perfectly into the first question that I was going to ask you guys, which is, do you think it's important? Because now we have 2 sides of the coin again. So you've never lived alone, but you have said you at the very same time have a thirst to be alone, living alone for a little bit, but also like put a ring on it. And if I have the right man, like we moving in tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
So you have both.
Yep.
So it's moved me into the question of like, so do we feel like it's necessary / important to do that? Like you haven't done it. Like what if Mr. Right comes around like tomorrow?
The only reason why I think it's necessary for me is because I find solitude in being alone.
Mm-hmm.
I have a greater space for myself rather than sharing it with everyone. I can focus more on the things that I want to do, the things that I want to eat. If I want to just be lazy,
Do you
I
have,
can do that alone without being picked at.
if you have not lived alone so far, do you have moments or spaces in your everyday life where you do find that you can do those things and it adds to the hunger to do it more often?
No.
Do you have nothing at all? So, okay. So you just know internally that this is what I know now that I need that.
it.
Okay. Okay, cool. What do you feel like it's important? It's necessary to do it? Like, do you feel like you can skip it over it?
I do think it's necessary. I think it's important only because, like, for me personally, I feel like living alone has given me the opportunity, like you said, to like go more in depth with myself and like really just push past certain blockages, because like even me coming from like a big family, like my whole family, they be living on the same street, like everybody's walking distance from each other. So I know what it's like to need that space, and I feel like because I've lived alone, just me and my dog, like I've been able to explore those depths, but also challenge myself, because like when it comes to the loneliness, or it comes to the, like you said, like even that hustle, like, oh my God, like who gonna pay this rent if I don't do it?
Hate it.
So even that,
hate
like
it.
having to challenge myself and push myself past certain limits or certain like comfort zones, I feel like if I didn't live alone, I wouldn't have pushed myself as hard. So I
Okay.
think that's one thing I've appreciated.
And then up, or she's good. What I would say, God, you guys are literally on both sides of it. So I'm somewhere in the middle. So let me first start by answering the question that I asked y'all. Have you ever lived alone? And when I thought about this today, I literally, almost like emphatically, was like, hell yeah, I lived alone. Because I was talking to Audrina about this earlier, and I was like, oh my God, no, I haven't. But I feel like I've lived alone before, right?
Yeah.
And that's because, yeah, it was very brief. So I had a roommate. At one point, I moved out from her, and I was like, I remember saying, like, I don't want to live with anybody. I need space. I had the same hunger that Audrina is talking about. I signed my own little lease. I got my own little townhouse. It was so spacious. It was just me. I was single. No man had me. I didn't have no man, right?
Yeah.
3 months. It lasted 3 months.
Then
And then I got into a relationship for 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I never really, I had 3 months, y'all, to live alone. But what I will tell you is that in that 3 months, like I was starting to build, just like you said, like routines. I was starting to like see what I wanted, like focus on me. And I feel like that's something that a lot of women can't. I don't know if people are focusing on this or not, but I think it's important to master like living alone for that reason. It's like you got to figure out like what I do day to day that works for me, how I build my home, how I keep my space. And I feel like the important part is like, so that when that man comes in, you don't start changing everything.
I'm saying especially as women, because we absorb so much and we take on when we get into a relationship. It's kind
Yes.
of like we submit and we take
Yes.
on his life and his
Correct.
lifestyle.
Correct.
And I'm like, how is this feeding me? What am I getting out of this? And
Correct.
so it's like, no. Having my own space, it helps you set those boundaries. To
Thank
be like,
you.
if you're gonna come into my world, like I need this and this. Like for me, like I need to be able to go to the gym at least 3 times a week. I need to be into yoga, and you need to accommodate that with my schedule. Because if I just jump into a relationship with you and I haven't set those boundaries
Correct.
and those routines for myself, it's so easy to get absorbed.
And the thing
Do
is,
it together.
For
I
sure.
got-
Like we can do it
Yeah.
together.
I got a question for y'all.
yeah.
Does it matter if the man that's trying to get at you has lived alone or not?
That is a great question.
I think so.
I
It kind of shows how self-sufficient you are too. If you're living alone, what does that look like?
I think that's a great
Can
way
we
to.
merge together?
do. I think it's definitely helpful. I think it would definitely add to the beauty of the relationship if you lived alone and I lived alone. It might even cause some friction, but I think overall it would be beautiful.
Hesitation in the question.
Right, because tell me if it's selfish. I feel like whatever you did before, if you were at your mom's house or not, like if you were with a roommate or not, that's not what concerns me. What concerns me is that I have my schedule set, I have my boundaries set, and as long as you can respect them, then we're good. It's almost like I'm not so concerned with them folding to me because I'm not going to ever push anyone or like push my will onto anyone or do anything. I think. But I don't know, actually.
I think it's important only because like the person I'm in my break with, he's never lived like completely on his.
How is that playing out? So that's a really good.
So
I need to know.
I think personally, like that, it gives, even especially as a man, like I grew up with all brothers, like I'm the only girl in my family.
Oh my
And
God.
so like even just seeing like as men, like men have a this inner desire to like find themselves and their purpose and like provide and all this stuff.
You
that
laughing.
sometimes I don't know. This is just what men be telling me. I don't know. I'm not a man. But what men tell me from like my brothers and the guys I've even dated, like men do have this inner desire to like provide and be a man and find themselves, or even like have their purpose lined up. And I feel like it's for any person, male or female, it's hard to do that when you got so many distractions and people around you.
Okay.
And I feel like as a man, like once you can be like, okay, like this is me, this is what I can bring to the table, like I can sustain myself. Plus I also think it teaches men appreciation for a woman, because when you've been cooking and cleaning and taking care of yourself by yourself,
Is traumatizing.
like by yourself as a man consistently, and then a woman comes in and takes over those roles, you're gonna be way more appreciative of like what she's bringing to the table.
Yes, it's balance.
And then I also think as a woman, it's a good gauge to see if a man is ready for a relationship or marriage. Because if I come to your house and you got roommates and all this crazy stuff going on, you still living with your parents, that's gonna make me look at it a little different versus if I come to your apartment and it's clean, you got food in the fridge, like your laundry did, it smelled
Yes.
nice. I'm like, okay, like he husband material.
Okay.
Like
But
that
What if he
shows
has
a
all
little
those
bit.
qualities?
Right. Because I was about to say, so I do have a friend though. I have a friend who was with a man who did the laundry, who cooked, but it was definitely, I mean, all the flags were green, except like he never lived alone. And so the way it played out is like, oh, you're just modeling what your mom did, but you have not created your own system.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not coming from within. It's just
Yes, you're following your.
I think it goes back to the thing of purpose too. Like when you're a man and you're really on your purpose and you have ambition, like I'm attracted to really ambitious men. So like if you're ambitious, you're on your purpose, like that's a way for you to really tap into yourself and make sure you're even ready for a relationship. Because a lot of men think they're ready for relationships and then they get into one and like, hey, yo, this kind of crazy. Like, I don't know if I want to do this. And it's like,
Correct.
yeah, because you're not understanding all the work that goes into
Correct.
it. And so I think once a man lives on his own and he understands the work that goes into creating a healthy life and a healthy lifestyle, then adding a woman in is just extra and it's more appreciated versus if you've never had stability, you've never had structure, you've never had routine and purpose, and then you try to do that and do a relationship at the same exact time, that's chaotic, that's
buzz.
stressful, that's
Yeah.
overwhelming.
And I feel like, go ahead.
Let me ask y'all this: when, at what age should a man experience living on his own?
That's so deep.
I think
I think
between 25 and
immediately.
30.
You don't, not immediately?
Well, I mean, if you in college, you probably got roommates in college
Correct.
at 18. And
Okay.
then once you get out of college, you might have another roommate situation. But I think by the time you get like 25, 26, most men have they real job or like, you know, they're a little more established. So I think anywhere between like mid to late 20s and on, like, it's like if you 35, sir, and you got roommates, I'm looking at you a little
Oh, wait.
weird.
Okay, let me say something.
Sorry, I ain't
okay,
person.
let's take out the age for a
This
second because
applies to
I
him.
don't feel like the age matters as much as like the amount of time. Like, so could we ask like how much time should a man spend living alone? Because like you could be 35 and leaving your parents' house, and then for the first time going out. Like I'm not gonna fault you for that, but you need to still live alone.
35 as a man, first time going like living on your own. That's crazy.
Why is that crazy? If he, the question is, okay, let's.
I mean,
say,
I've been on my own since I was 17, so I'm speaking
blessed.
from a little bit.
You like
not
MJ
even
over
blessed.
here,
I just had
out here.
My mother was like, "You have to go be a man." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to go
I think it
experience.
makes you be a man.
It does, but
It
so
makes
you,
be a man.
Yeah, like
Grow
it's
up.
like think about it as like if you was in a tribe, like in a we didn't have modern technology. We was in a tribe. They send the 14, 15-year-olds to go kill the tiger or to kill the lion. Like it's modernized now. It's like go out and figure out how to be a man. Go, not crazy debt, but like
figure it
go
out on
get in the
your
debt.
own.
Figure it
But
out.
figure
Figure
it
out how
out
to pay a
and-
bill.
Make
And when you-
mistakes too.
That's what it
I feel
is.
like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
definitely need to make mistakes.
and when y'all say go figure it out on your own, you mean
But
literally.
is the door still open when you make those mistakes?
My
And
mother
like-
has the
back.
door open right now.
Okay, great.
Did you ever take it? Did you ever take the door?
I told her I
open
would
back?
never move back in with her.
Why?
It's just because how I was raised.
Okay.
Okay,
She taught me how to live, and I'm gonna take it
question-
and live.
I respect that, and I do think that there is nothing like.
And I have a daughter, so that's not.
Well, yeah,
That
that's
is
we get
correct.
that.
No.
You're right. That's very attractive that you got out there and went on your grind like immediately. But I'm saying, so let's just throw the 35 out there just for a second. Like, what if he leaves at 35, but he's like, I'm going to dedicate the next 2 years to just being alone? That's not enough time. It's too late.
No, I think 2 years is enough.
Hell
time.
no.
That's
Can
too-
we good?
why?
I mean, but
Hell no.
I think starting it at 35 is kind of crazy. Like, so even culturally, like my dad, he's African, and like in a lot of African cultures, I know a lot of other cultures, like living with your parents until you get married is normal. Like
Yeah.
it's okay to be
That's
like,
what I'm
I
like,
live with my parents
yeah.
even well into my 30s. I've dated a lot of African men who were that up under their parents, and when it's time to get into a relationship, they
Did
don't
they think you were going to be
Don't
their
know
mom?
nothing.
Did they think you were going to be their
want me to
mom?
be their mom, or they're still looking for their mom to be their mom. Like
So
they
it's a
want to still
problem.
be parented. And I'm
So
like,
is
no,
it a
you
problem
need
when
to
a
grow
guy
up.
is looking for a woman to be their mom?
Yeah, hell yes,
Hell
problem.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I ain't looking for
Red
him to be
flag
my
number one.
I'm gonna call him daddy.
But I
He
will,
ain't gonna be my
I will
daddy.
say this though to add to that part of the conversation. As a man, and we got two other men back here. Y'all can let me know if I'm right. We don't really care if a woman stay with her parents as long as she got her shit together.
Right, y'all.
She's
That's
handling business.
that's the problem. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't see how beneficial. We're trying to tell you, you don't need to be with a woman who is not. Do not take offense to this. You don't need to be with a woman who has not lived alone.
Why not?
I ain't
Shall
gonna
we?
lie, I think y'all be having low standards. I'm like,
Yeah.
especially the good men. Like y'all are some quality men.
Let's
Why y'all
talk
standards
about it.
so low?
Like if we've never and this is me included.
Talk to me as a man because I feel like
Okay.
you're gonna have a large audience of women.
Right.
So as a man, like talk
You
to
gonna
me
take
and tell
notes.
me why I should be cautious of dating a woman who has
Okay, I will speak my personal experience. Keep it short. I had 3 months to try to build systems and routines, to try to build a self-care thing, to try to like have a sanctuary of my own, to try to have like some business about myself, right? Went into a relationship, and because I did not take enough time to figure out, because when you live alone, you have to figure out who you are. Period. Like you have to figure out what you want to eat, what you do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You have to figure out what every day looks like just alone, right? So getting into a relationship, if a woman has not had that time to like figure out what she does Monday through Sunday, guess what? When that man moves in, she's going to be like, what are we doing? What do you want to do?
And what's wrong with that?
I think a lot of men think they want that in
too
theory,
dependent.
and then once they get it, they after a
be
while
pissed
they like,
the
oh,
fuck
she's so
off.
Yeah,
needy,
it's too
she's so
dependent. Then you're gonna feel like you're
Wait, but you need to
babysitting.
grow up. Yeah, like
Yeah.
sis, you ain't got no life.
She's going to be preoccupied with every single thing that you have going on. That's a problem. Like you don't want because you laughing because you know it's the truth. You do not want a woman who has not had time to build
Not
routines
necessarily
and systems for
because like
herself.
I look at it as like if you live with your parents, you have the leisure to do a lot of things that people who are, I guess, working every day to pay bills. You have
It's
a lot more
true.
leisure.
No,
to
you do have
To
leisure.
a certain extent.
Right.
But I
Okay.
was gonna say, I feel like that also you don't learn responsibility, and so then
To
you
an
get
extent,
into
yeah.
like,
To an extent.
To an extent.
yeah, like
To an
you
extent.
understand to a level, but like when you got to get it out the mud and you got rent to pay, you got bills
If you
to pay,
if you
have-
live alone,
you have to cook, you have to clean, like you have everything falls on your back or we crumbling. When you have that type of drive about you and that type of like, yo, we getting it. Once you get into a relationship, I don't care if my man break his leg, he lose his job, whatever. Like I know I can carry us on my back because I've already carried me on my back.
It's
Versus,
also
I ain't
up-
carried
I thought
nothing.
you were going somewhere
Yeah.
else with that. I mean, I respect it, but I thought you were going down the path of like, because I can get it, it's like I'm not going to depend, which means like I thought it was going to go in that direction.
Well, yeah, I think you're not as dependent, but I also think you're more
don't wanna carry.
capable to. No, it's not carrying, but I do think that. I mean, also to an extent, like as a woman, like once you decide you in love and like this is my partner,
You gonna
I'm
do
not
what you gotta do.
carrying you, but like, bro, if you lose your job or you break your leg,
So
like,
the thing
I have to
is,
step up.
I never lived alone, but guess what? I had to carry a man, and the crazy part is, I learned that I could carry a man before I learned I could carry myself because I was not alone. So I'm just like, no, I need to be alone so that I know I can carry myself, not necessarily so that I know I could carry us. And that's what I'm like, because I could carry us. I could carry us. But because and I didn't learn, and I appreciate this man for that because I learned that I could set a budget. I didn't learn that on my own. I could set a budget. Oh, go ahead.
That was my next point. Like, if a woman hasn't lived on her own, the man that she's with should be able to like teach her
Yeah,
certain things.
I do.
And guide her in a way that's gonna allow her to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like give her that landing space so she can be, I guess, sit in her femininity.
So then, to what you're saying, then it would take a certain type of man then to be in your scenario, like equally yoked with the type of woman who has not been
What's equally yoked?
equal, meaning like yin to the yang, like
Alignment.
yeah,
mesh
alignment.
together.
So if she's never lived alone,
No word salad.
if she's never lived alone, and you're saying he needs to be the type that can teach her these things, then he needs to be the type of man who is patient and can do that. Right? You can't be the type of man who wants like all this extra freedom and all these extra things and then get a woman who literally is going from taking care of her family or contributing to her family setting.
Boom,
Never
you just
being
said
alone.
it. You just said it.
And
No,
then
wait,
going
wait,
to
hold on.
you.
Stay on that.
Because it's going to be.
It's taking care of her family setting. That's the same thing a man would want his woman to do if they're creating a family together.
But he's still
Right. That's what I'm
living in
saying. It
his
has to be a
freedom.
type of man to do that.
No. I'm not talking about the freedom. I'm talking about like
You saying all men?
no. Going back to the point where you said women should be on their own. Like that's why I said like it really don't matter because if she lives with her family, she's gonna understand the value of taking
It's a
care of her family.
characteristic thing
Yeah.
for both genders.
First of all, in all these man-women relationship conversations, I keep hearing the term equally yoked.
You hate that word? You hate.
No one's using it right.
Okay. What's equal?
Y'all can repeat it.
Okay.
Okay. So what'd you say?
It's a biblical term.
Equally yoked is a biblical term.
It's about having the same morals and values.
It's about having the
Okay.
same morals and values, and that's why I was
That's
getting
not
to.
alignment.
And that's
I mean,
why I
it doesn't.
said.
I mean, no, it is alignment,
It's
but
a
I,
characteristic thing
but
as
it's-
well.
Wait, let me repeat what he said. He said a lot of people are using equally yoked wrong because it's a biblical thing. And when they say equally yoked, he means like having the same morals, having the same.
Jew and a Christian marriage.
Being a Jew and a Christian,
yeah,
not okay. It according
That's
to
not gonna work.
the biblical, right?
Who and a what?
Being like a Jew and a Christian.
Jewish-
Stop, man. Stop.
And it's me over here
But-
repeating it
Y'all
like,
can't
oh
say
yes, this is what he
I
said.
really go ahead and slide it.
Being a
in.
who and a what?
Shut up. But I think overall, yes, the Bible is real specific in the Bible. But I feel like the Bible, they have stuff in there that's an allegory for like bigger concepts, greater concepts, which could be like you just said, alignment.
I mean,
It's
Oh
just-
yeah, but like
I mean,
equally
alignment's-
equally yoked is going to be it's going to look different.
correct.
It's not going to be the same. So that's why I was like living on your own as a man and then
Mm-hmm.
living on your own as a woman. It's different.
Okay.
Her what she's going to learn in her family is family values, how to take care of her mother, her father, she can learn to cook from her mother. She'll learn tradition
Wait,
from her
so
mother.
So I was
Yes.
gonna say
Let
one
me
thing
tell
I
you,
think
though.
you're missing from
Okay,
that
go
as
ahead.
a woman. I think you're only speaking on traits that women need to please other people.
To please
You're
other
You're
people.
talking about the
So
traits
you don't
that
need to
we
cook
have.
by yourself?
No. So we do, but we're learning to do it in a form of self-fulfillment versus that's the whole
Yes.
point of a woman needing to live alone because we go
Yes.
from being sisters and daughters and girlfriends and we're always pouring into others. We're always helping and nurturing, which is great. That's
Right.
a part of our feminine essence.
Right.
But once we live alone and we don't have those pressures and those
You have that
structures,
family foundation
You
to
have
live
to.
off of.
No, you have to figure out what
so if I'm in
do
a-
I want.
yeah, 'cause
What
if
do
I'm in a
I like?
relationship
But you
with
have to have a foundation to build off of that. What do I want? What
Do
do
we?
I like?
I mean, you
Yeah,
get that
I mean, you
foundation
can't
from your
build a-
family, but once you turn
That's my
18,
point.
yeah. But once you
Okay.
turn 18
That's
as a
my point.
woman, I still think that
You gotta get out.
need to live on your own before getting with a man because if I'm living with my family and I'm contributing so much, because you probably contribute a lot to your family dynamic and your family household. And
Period.
So when you're contributing so much, like you said, you don't have
Drina's
enough
like,
time
no.
for yourself. You don't have enough
Do not speak for me.
you said like, oh, you don't have enough space and time to like be in your essence and pour into yourself all the time. And I think sometimes as women, that's the burden that is put on us, or that's the responsibility. And then we go into a relationship and it's just that all over again. And I think having that alone time and that solitude to decide like, what do I want? How do I pour into myself? What are the things that truly make me happy? Because the things that make me happy when I'm in relationship or when I'm around my family, once you get alone, that's when I discovered so many hobbies and so many skills that I never knew I was into
Yes.
until I was alone.
And you know what else? Like, how am I gonna tell you what I want to do if I haven't figured it out? I'm gonna be so annoying. What do you want to do? What music do you want to listen to? What do you want? Like, what do you? And I'm saying that from personal experience. Like, if somebody asks me,
Yeah, same.
What do you want to watch? I'm like,
Right. So with all
I
that
don't know.
being said,
I have to figure it
me,
out.
living
I have to know.
For me, living with family has been completely different, right? In self-sufficient ways, it's not. My life has been completely different from what people might interpret it to be. Like, I live with family, so people are like, "Oh, she might be like,
What?
I don't know, sheltered, protected, or something like that." But I have been very coddled, right? So I didn't have to figure things out. I don't know what struggle looks like. My mother has never shown struggle. She was a single mom for a very long time until my stepdad stepped in. But I've never seen struggle. I've seen my mother cry one time.
And how has that affected you?
That
Right.
was because of menstrual cycles.
Oh my God. I thought you
How
said
is-
men.
But how was that?
menstrual.
cycle.
Like, how has that affected you? Do you have a hard time like being in relationships because you don't know who you are?
Yeah.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you would be on the
Absolutely.
side of like, this is why you have the
don't
hunger.
know. Yeah, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I like. I don't.
So
I
to
have
your
people
point, she
that
answering your
does
question.
No, she answered my
me.
question
She
directly.
answered
Yeah, that's
it,
why I
yeah.
asked.
Everything
Yeah.
for me. If anything I'm lacking, my family's there. I feel like I'm not the baby of the family, but I feel like I'm very protected by my family. So for me, living with my family is completely different from what people might think it is. That's why I'm like, I'm just kind of going with the flow because I don't know.
I think that that's what I would think that it's like. Is that not? What you just said didn't surprise me. Like you're taken care of. Like you're under the wing of your
Yeah,
mom.
You've
Like,
also known me for 20 years.
I have.
No, I mean-
MJ, you speak. MJ, you
yeah,
speak.
I definitely think that because I told you I have a very like close knit like borderline codependent family. So I know that sense of like protection or like the need of like you don't really have to fully challenge yourself or push yourself because you're taken care of. And to an extent, that's how you want to feel because like
Right.
you want to rest in your femininity. You want to feel safe and protected. So I don't think that's a bad thing
It's
or a
not at
wrong
all.
thing. I think there's just caveats with anything. There's pros and cons with anything because just like living on your own, you're gonna feel lonely. You're gonna feel isolated. You're gonna feel all these other feelings. And I think the
Correct.
feelings that just come along with living with family is like you do get a little, like you said, coddled or like you don't fully push yourself all the way. And so I think just being aware of those things, I think is just the first step for sure.
Yeah.
Period. And so I'm gonna move us along because I feel like thank you guys. We had a good dialogue. To be clear, like I think tell me if we don't all agree on this. Living alone before you get in a relationship, not necessary. It's not. You could make it work, correct?
is. Oh, yeah.
However, you think it is necessary?
It is important.
It's
not
important,
necessary,
right?
But it is important.
But it is important. And for that reason, I feel like we've gotten a few reasons why it's important. Help me out if I can. So living alone before we get into these deep relationships with these guys like Mosey who are ready to just like jump in because she's coming straight from the household, right?
Is he really?
Is it? I don't know.
You get it, huh?
Right, until they get it, because then they be
Yeah.
like, nah, she
Oh,
don't
yeah.
got enough
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
She don't
exactly.
got enough, she's here for me too often, right? So
Do you have a life?
right. Do you have a life? No, my
Huh.
life is you.
She
I
got
came
daddy
from my family.
issues,
Now
huh?
it's you. Right. Like you're the world.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I feel like and I wrote some stuff down. So tell me yes or no to this being practical advice. If I'm wrong, call me out. Practical advice number 1. Living alone before you're going into this relationship. You can create a personal sanctuary in your living space. And I don't know what that looks like for you, but it means like you find peace there, correct?
Yes.
Like that's important. Developing a routine that includes self-care, right? Staying connected with your friends and family, figuring out a way to do that, not the man, just figuring out a way to stay connected with them, right? Embracing solitude as a time for personal growth.
Yeah.
We didn't go deep in that, but, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
Anything else that you guys would add that we covered today as a reason why you need to master living alone? Boundaries, I feel like we covered
Yeah.
today. So
Or
you
just
know your
identity.
boundaries
Yeah.
and you don't fold on them when a man comes in and it's about what I want in tandem with what you want to. Like we can figure it out.
Do we
together.
align?
Do we align? Yeah, you can figure out alignment real quick that way. Anything else? Okay, let's move on. This one's a little spicy. Thanks, ladies. This one's a little spicy.
I'm
Okay, so we're moving
scared.
on to the second one. So segment number 2, which is called Sex for One, Please. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Yes? Okay. So, Sex for One. How do we feel about... I don't even want to say the word. This lets you know how I feel about it. How do we feel
Pleasure
about...
with oneself?
Yes, self-pleasure.
right?
But no, I want to say the word.
What?
Masturbation.
Masturbation.
Let's say it. Masturbation.
How do we feel?
Let's spell it too.
Let's spell it too. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
We are going to talk about, let me be clear. We're going to talk about the importance of sex for one, masturbation, self-pleasure, whatever you want to call it, the importance of it before you get into that relationship that we're all like trying to get to, right? Or are we trying? I don't know. Important. Is it important?
To a certain extent, I find
To us, sir. Girl, you go first. Nope.
Yeah,
no,
no,
you
I
got to
wanna hear
start.
it.
for me, but I think this comes in hand with how I'm not self-sufficient in certain ways because I'm coddled, right? So,
Let me
Mosey,
have one.
contain
one.
yourself. I feel like, to a certain extent, because there's excitement when you're discovering things with someone else.
Okay, the excitement factor. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So I can't. Childish, get out the room.
Don't pay attention to us.
Can't like.
Have the conversation. We having the
No, she
conversation.
said she
No,
can't.
I
Oh, she
can't
can't
with
with
him.
him. Okay.
yeah.
This is
No,
a
no, no.
topic.
Okay,
Y'all need to shut
okay.
up.
No, I think it's important to a certain extent to discover yourself, but me personally, I find more pleasure in discovering with someone else.
So, how do you feel when you're discovering it with yourself?
Shame.
That's
Only
something deep.
because men
Me too, Drina. Don't worry. I do
men
too.
have made it shameful for women to do anything.
Do you?
Wait. Hell no. I'm not letting you get that one off. Absolutely not. I'm not letting you get that off. No.
Said anything.
Hell no.
He said we can't do nothing.
Nothing.
I'm
Don't
breathing
wear,
right now.
do
Shit.
not wear dresses past your fingertips.
We talk about the
Don't-
50s.
I understand, but I'm saying what
Yeah, I
I'm
get
saying
you.
is
Trina, I got a question.
this is where the
Let her finish
shame
this, huh?
derives.
Okay.
From.
The shame derives from. So you
Yes.
have these men in your head
Men.
in the moment where you're trying to.
Yeah, shame is just all around everything that you do.
Wait. So
So mad
But
at
that's
these
but
men.
that's on a that's it's deeper for me when I say that.
Okay. I
Yeah, it's
understand.
like on a psychological
Yeah,
level.
yeah,
Like
it's
it's
deeper.
internalized. Yeah.
shame
What's your
how?
question?
Don't laugh at my shame, sir.
I'm not laughing at it at all. Shame, because I feel shameful too, like especially when you get like post
Men
nut
feel
clarity.
shameful.
Yeah,
I feel
post
like
nut
y'all
clarity
feel
is a
shameful.
motherfucker.
Why do you feel? You talking about after it's done?
Yeah, post nut clarity.
I hear that all the
Crazy.
time.
It's crazy. You feel
What
like,
is that? So y'all don't feel shame right before it's happening.
hell,
Like,
we don't
right-
we don't
like
feel
as
shame
it's
while it's happening. It's after we like, why do we do that?
I've heard that before. What is talk about that? Because
Yeah, I think that's a whole different type of shame, though.
Yeah,
Like,
our
they're
shame-
feeling ashamed of their
That
own
they did it
actions.
alone.
Yeah, they like, "Ugh, why would I do this?" Versus us, we feel shame
just
just
like-
to act, like just being in our own
Yeah.
bodies and our own essence. We're like, oh, something's wrong with me
Women-
just being even just
This is
around
Why-
this
right
is
now.
frowned upon.
Yeah. So,
Wait, wait.
No,
hold on.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So if you having sex, sorry, I have
Wait,
to ask this question.
Can you
to the
repeat
men.
what he just said out loud? Because nobody's gonna hear that. You said it's not just shame from masturbation; it's from
It's
eating.
sex in
From- even
general.
said when we're
Like,
involved.
even when you have
that's what
sex,
my question
period?
is. The post nut clarity only happens, if I'm correct, right? If it's somebody you don't think you should have been sleeping with. But if it's a girl you genuinely are vibing with and you like her and y'all have a dope connection, why would you have post nut clarity?
it depends
Sleep with
on
her.
the guy.
Explain.
Yeah, because I'm confused.
I've
Because
never.
sometimes you ever, all right, let me, you ever, you ever just had sex just to have it?
That's when it's shameful.
Okay.
It could be. Some men be like, oh, I shouldn't even have did that way.
But even if you
Even if she was
genuinely
attractive or
like
not.
her, but I'm saying if y'all have a connection, a vibe, like say y'all dating or that's your girl, even if you want to just do it just to do it, why you feel shame for that? Like you
No,
want
not,
it. To
I don't think men feel shame for somebody
Not how
they're
you feel,
attracted
but like,
to.
what's
Oh, so it's when it's ugly girls, or it's only when they have. Sex.
I'm going off what you said about you like her, you vibing with her, all that. That's different because I feel like if a dude like a woman and they vibing and they in that moment is probably gonna take over more than what you know what I'm saying. The lust of actually having sex is. But if we just like lusted, you see her, whoa, she bad, whatever, we cool for the moment, we go back. You might be like, man, I shouldn't even have did.
Yeah, you should feel shame for that.
What is
You
it?
won't.
I need you to be
You should feel some shame
specific.
for that.
So, what is the shame? The post nut shame coming from? Is it like?
It come from a lot of
You know you
thinking of something in your
irresponsible with
head?
your genitals.
Is it because you? I mean, did you?
Are you in a relationship?
like? Yeah. What is? Where's the shame? I don't.
It can come from. It's not like one direct answer. It can come from anything. It could be like,
Give me
I don't know
some
why I had
examples.
sex and I didn't even feel like having sex.
I think I get what he's saying. He's saying if men are having sex unintentionally, that's when
like,
they
it
get
could
it. But if
just-
it's intentional, like I'm dating this girl, I'm vibing with her, I'm liking her, I don't.
So you
think
have
they
an
get that.
erection
If it's impulsive.
unintentionally?
If
If it's
some-
impulsive.
Wait, what?
that what you're saying?
Too many questions. What
Right.
happened?
I'm sorry.
Listen,
Is it if it's impulsive? You mean like if you didn't start today with the thought that this is what I'm gonna do if I have the opportunity, then that's when it's shameful.
who
like,
wakes? What man wakes
Women.
up
Women
and say,
know.
yeah, I'm about to have sex
I
later on
right?
today. Let me
Women
think
know.
about the process of it.
We getting off subject. We about to reel it back in. I think for the most part, women know if we're open to having sex with somebody or not. So there's usually
Y'all know
no
as soon as
shame.
y'all meet him if y'all gonna have sex with him, and when y'all gonna have sex with him.
Yeah.
Because y'all got the key to that.
I'm
glad
pretty.
you know.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe a month or two ago, I'm pretty sure you said that men do the same thing.
Do what?
Not you calling him out.
No.
No.
Oh, you did.
I
say.
said a man knows the type of woman and where he gonna put her in a category. I never said about
So
sex.
so the category never extends to fuck buddy?
I can't force myself on no woman that don't want to give it to me.
Okay, well, we're
Okay.
not talking about forcing.
Wait,
but-
can we?
But you know what I'm
reel it
saying?
in
Like
now?
that's what I'm saying though. Like
I think he's saying we know not only who we're gonna sleep with, but when they gonna get
Because
it.
you have the
versus a
key
man
to
can't
that.
decide. You can date a girl for 3 weeks or 3 months, 3
And we
days.
don't know.
You only get to get it whenever she give it to you.
I get
And
Thank you.
but the post shame comes from you not wanting to have done it to begin with.
it's a very simple concept.
Don't do
Either
that.
either I don't want to do it, I shouldn't have done it.
Shouldn't have. That's what I need.
No, you see, you want to key in on that one, but
I
it's
don't
all
understand what
it's
it should
all
See,
When should you have not done
because
something
it
that
could
you
I should
because you just wasn't. It wasn't the right time or the right moment or the right person. I think what he's saying. I don't know. Maybe it's because I got brothers, but I've heard too many times.
Yeah, you the brother whisperer.
No,
Come on.
I
Come
really
on.
no, girl. I used to the amount of arguments I've had with my brothers about these kind of topics.
yeah.
What?
Because-
you shouldn't have.
No,
You
so
did
I
it.
think for women, it's
shame.
hard for us to understand that men separate sex from
Everything.
else. For us, girl, if I don't like your shoes you wearing, I'm like, he sexually unattractive to me.
I'm not like
As
that
women,
either.
I'm not saying that's not everyone. Like that's an extreme, but it's women. I feel like sex is so intertwined with our emotions, our attraction, our feelings. And then that's why when as women we do get that little itch and we scratch it and we on our whole face,
What?
we feel that same shame he's talking about.
I do not agree. That's
No?
what I'm saying. But and I do know that this is probably not a popular opinion or a popular thought, but I do feel like if you are in that space where you now know that I'm intentionally being single, you can have space to honor the fact that you want to be with another being.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
for
be
sure.
okay. Like it doesn't have to have emotion tied to
but
it.
see, that's for women. Even if we decide, I think as women we can have like sex buddies or whatever, like a friend with benefits. But it's a conscious thing always. We're never, and if we do get too drunk or too loose and we fall into it,
That's
we
the
feel
only
shame.
time. Yeah,
We
that's the
feel
only
shame.
time we feel
versus
shame.
men. No,
No.
men can literally fall into a friends with benefits unconsciously. Men can literally fall into some Gucci unconsciously.
Uchi.
We not falling in
Man,
on no.
she- I ain't
no,
heard
we
her-
ain't falling on
she-
no something
She ain't
unconsciously.
said one lie yet.
So
I love it.
So I think
What? I
as
love
men,
that.
so I think as men, because they can fall into something unconsciously, once they're conscious of it, they're like, "Oh damn, I shouldn't have did that."
and
that's the post nut
that's the
clarity.
post-nut
Versus
clarity.
us,
Exactly.
we have the clarity beforehand.
And the reason why I said that, hello, because we don't wake up thinking about it because it's just like, unless you just got somebody there that's gonna be like, all right, hit me whenever. Men don't most men don't have that leisure.
Wow.
Women, you guys could, I guarantee all three of y'all, beautiful. You can hit 5 niggas in your phone right now, and I guarantee you get 5 responses. What you doing tonight? I'm trying to see what's up. You're gonna get 5 responses.
I've been-
Guarantee it. And it's not the dudes that y'all want. I'm saying dudes in general.
In general, I understand that. Yeah.
A lot of men can't do that.
Well, I've been told that I'm sporadic, so
I don't know what that means. What's sporadic mean?
Go ahead, girl. Clear it up.
What's
Come on.
sporadic? You gotta elaborate on
And
that.
then we reeling it back in. Come on, because we talking about
just go ahead
masturbation.
and- No, go ahead and reel it back in.
sporadic. Don't make me put my
Absolutely, go ahead
don't
and
make me put
Okay, so
Irrelevant.
to this, okay, let's reel it in. Shame women. You started this by saying you don't think it's necessary. You would rather have your partner to explore with, even if it's not your partner, to be clear. Even if it's just a casual encounter, you would rather that than,
Do it myself.
yeah, it does not feel, for whatever reason,
Gratifying.
gratifying to do it yourself. Ever or like most times?
I don't know if it's forever. I think that
No, I mean ever, like coming to this point today. Has it not ever felt gratifying to do it, or like just most times?
I mean the end goal always happened.
And do you feel post nut shame? Mm-hmm. You do too. That's crazy. Okay.
But when you do it solo, though, right? Not
Solo.
okay.
okay, and then MJ, thoughts? I feel like you have an opposite thought because you look very excited about
Right?
No, I feel like everybody should touch themselves. No,
I do too.
no, I personally
great.
feel like like in order to fully like explore your body and really fully understand intimacy, I feel like you have to be intimate with yourself first. That's just my personal opinion. And I feel like for me, I love exploring myself. That way, once I do get with a partner, like I'm gonna teach you some stuff. Like and I'm gonna show you what I like, and like I can explain to you how to touch my body, and I want you to know
That was
your
my
body
next
well enough to
question. You already
explain to me
addressing it.
what
Go
you
ahead.
like, because
You're
I
already
want to
addressing
be able to please my partner. I don't know you, like I don't know your needs and your wants. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you want, and then we can also explore together as well, because I think that's a beautiful part of a relationship.
Yeah.
But I
Have
definitely
the
feel
basics
like,
down pat.
Yeah, I feel like you should.
If all else fails in our exploration,
Like I should know exactly for myself how to push it and touch it, boom, and make it like go crazy. That way I could tell you how to
boom, push
go
it,
crazy. Yeah.
Okay, it's funny. So the irony is that I totally 1000% agree with you while still having the same feeling as Audrina.
And that's another reason why I think women especially
Damn.
should do that, because
Yeah.
as women, like I told you, growing up in a family that was very misogynistic and like pro man, I had to learn. Fortunate I was able to have a mom who, like, my mom is very like much so like understanding yourself as a woman and being able to pour into yourself as a woman. And so my mom had conversations with me about like sex and stuff like that very early on to get
wow.
me to have that understanding.
had that
Your mom
conversation with
talked
my
to you
mother.
about sex?
Oh girl, yeah.
What in the
First of all, my older brother is a hoe. So my mom had to have these
She
conversations
didn't mean it,
with me.
brother.
He know. So my mom had to have these conversations with me because I grew up around
These
male cousins,
boys.
brothers, and like the dudes in my family, like they was boys. So like my mom had to tell me early on, and even my
Did she
brothers
tell
told
you
me.
it with the understanding to protect yourself, and then not only protecting yourself, like it's okay for you to explore yourself. Don't let nobody else try to explore you.
So that's
like
what I
that?
got from my mom, because my brothers and them, they instilled that shame in me. Like,
What?
Like, because they was like,
They
you
tried
see
to
how I do
instill.
girls? Do you want dudes to do you how I do these girls? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, I don't want you to get treated like you treat these girls. So I just started feeling shame, because I'm like, okay, I see how the girls who do the sexual things, they get the attention, but they also don't get positive attention.
Yeah.
And so that duality always confused me. Like, so y'all want to sleep with these girls, but y'all don't like these girls.
Like,
That always-
Absolutely.
And so talking.
Why are they?
Exactly.
So there's no shame around that.
Nope.
Uh,
No, they have
No,
to
they
great.
don't.
Okay, great.
no, 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 no.
They can
That could be
separate
that
those
post
things.
nut clarity. That could be a
okay.
part of that post nut
And that's why
clarity.
my mom taught me, hey, you're gonna have needs, because you shouldn't, because like my grandma, she's
Bless
a very
your mother.
my grandma's
Shout out to my dukes.
my grandma's the type of person, women should not have sexual desires outside of birthing children. And so my mom was like, don't think like your grandma, but
How old
also
is your
don't
grandmother?
think like your
'Cause look,
brother.
This about to be really telling.
My grandma in her 70s.
Period. That's my mom. Okay, cool.
Okay.
My mom is your grandmother.
Okay.
I was raised with those values.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about that. So how, if you don't mind, is your mom gonna be upset? How, like, generationally, how old is your mom?
Girl, my mama don't care. She's
Okay.
what, 52? 53?
Amazing. Okay, cool. Just needed that little clarity. Okay, cool. So she spoke to you like you were a woman, even at a young age. Like,
Yeah, and she let me know like it's okay to feel comfortable in my body, or like don't let people shame me for my own body. And if I do feel shame, it should only be because I'm not living up to my own expectations of myself. Like only feel personal shame. Don't feel shame from other people.
ooh, only that's a word.
Because shame is useful. You should feel shame sometimes.
I want to know where's the shame coming from? Because
It's deep. It's deep. You don't want to know.
It depends.
Can you give me an idea? Because
Yes.
I hear
Yes.
something. I forgot who said it. About like it's men. What are men doing that's making it shameful?
Okay. Have you heard the statistic that 1 out of every 3 women have been sexually
Touched on?
Yep, molested, some sort of abuse.
Don't use that word. We might demonetize. But yeah.
Just letting you know. So a lot, I can't speak for every woman, but I know at least 30% then of the shame that women feel, that 30% of the women are right off rip feeling shame because somebody has perverted her at that way too early of an age.
Understood.
So the idea
Right.
of me now revisiting this scenario just
Right.
alone is disgusting.
Got it. Understood. No further explanation.
So the other
explanation
60%,
needed.
maybe we can speak about. I don't know.
I think
What's
some
the
of
other
it comes
60?
from society. Like even when we're in elementary school, and they're like, "Oh, you can't wear a spaghetti strap shirt. Your pants got to be this long," and it's like subconsciously that's teaching us like, "Oh, don't feel comfortable having a body like
yeah.
it's 100 degrees outside. I'm wearing a tank top because it's hot. The boys are wearing a tank top because it's hot. Yet when I do it, I'm being sexualized because I'm enticing the boys in third grade.
It's a
Like,
double standard for sure.
Those types of little things. Like as a child, you pick up on those things, and then they carry you into adult's
And then they
you
bring
wonder why
God
you're a grown
into
woman.
it.
And
Yes,
God, oh,
yes.
we
Then
talk
they
about
bring
religious
God
shame.
into it. And it's just
Talk about
like,
religious shame.
That's the other 30%.
That's the other 30%.
We 33,
we all can't be Virgin Mary around here.
Cannot
Yes.
be pure. Every woman not about to be this pure woman that they are
No,
putting
not at
in
all.
whatever your respective like book of religion is. Because it seems like most religions, I can't say that. The religion that I have paid attention to, it seems like that Proverbs, what is it? Proverbs, what's the one? The Proverbs woman.
don't
Y'all
ask
know what I'm
me.
talking about, right? I had to stop because I could not live up to this woman. So I don't even feel bad that it escapes me.
It's a shame.
I
I don't know.
What'd you say?
cannot.
Proverbs what?
Proverbs.
It's a shame. I don't know. My mom and my
don't
brother
know,
is
21
pastors,
Proverbs.
and I don't know
something
none of
woman.
it.
What is it about?
About being like the
A
perfect
virtuous woman?
Yeah,
like being a virtuous woman.
phenomenal
Continue.
woman.
Continue.
Okay, you gonna look it up? Yeah, there is so much shame in not being modest and not being submissive and not being like just all
Docile.
these- I hate that word.
That's why I said it because I'm like that's crazy.
Meek, mild.
Small. They want you to be
Small.
small as possible so you can just fit in their pocket.
That turns me the fuck off. I'm not gonna lie.
100%.
And if that is ingrained in your mind from like when you are small, that you're gonna be this Proverbs woman, that you have to be all these things. What do I look like pulling out my toy? What do I look like doing this alone in my room? There's no other person here. It feels icky. It feels like I'm doing something wrong. I feel like, oh, and then God can see you.
Yep. That's it for me. God is watching.
No,
Or like your grandmother, your dad's watching. What?
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to sound creepy.
Who's watching
Your
me?
ancestors are watching.
Your
you.
ancestors are watching.
Because you're
Proverbs
such
31, 10
Proverbs
through
31.
31.
Okay, thank
right,
you,
cool.
That's a
Mosey.
whole
But
lot. But yeah.
I'm not gonna be that woman. I'm gonna do one better.
Have you
know what I mean?
have you read it lately?
You want to read it? Go ahead.
Not, but I feel like you should.
You want me? You want to read it first now?
No, I don't want you to read it in person, like in your own. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Behind, you know what I'm saying?
Not on camera.
Not on camera. Because it's not. I don't think
It's not
I,
bad.
I don't think it's what y'all saying it is.
I think a lot of
us.
scripture
But to
is
be
not
about-
as bad as we perceive it. Like on
think
initial
I
reading
think
it, I think it's the interpretations
It's how
that we
people
give things.
interpret it.
So my mom and my brother is pastor, so I grew up in church like tough, like
And
bro,
you still this
aggressively
free?
tough. Oh, girl, I'm the black sheep of the family. So
said
I grew up
free.
aggressively in the church. So no, I definitely think, and I think that's why I was blessed to have the mom I have, because although she's of the word and she preaches the word, she still has a very robust understanding of just life and humanity, and like we're still humans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And she was able to give me that duality and be like, still respect God and still respect your spirituality, but understand you are human,
You're human.
and you're able to like the deeper you grow in relationship with yourself, the deeper you can grow in relationship with God. So if you're too scared to
wow.
explore your own identity because of shame or judgment, you're never going to be able to get close enough to God because you're too ashamed. And you should be able to, God's the one person you should be able to bestow your shame in front of because he's going to take it away. So that's
That's your mom.
just-
I need to meet your mother. I think that's
yeah.
beautiful. Moving. I still want to stay on the topic of masturbation real quick, but like tips for, even if you don't think you have a tip, I know you have a tip. Tips for feeling comfortable in your space of self-pleasure. Tips,
Ma'am, I don't
advice.
have any tips.
Yes, you do, friend. Come on. MJ, tips. See, I got something. What?
I was like, you want
Okay,
tips?
okay.
I got some tips.
Because this is something new to me, and I should be speaking in the third person, but I'm gonna be vulnerable. Like, this is something new to me because there was a lot of shame around it for me as well. But it's like I realized that in order for me to have any type of like pleasure with anyone else, I'm like, I have to actually understand this. Like, I gotta understand it. So I'm committed, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna remove the shame. I'm gonna set my music right.
I was gonna say, create a vibe.
Create a
Like,
vibe.
make love to yourself.
Literally, I'm gonna like talk to myself real pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Caress yourself.
Literally, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do to me what I would
want
want
another
somebody else
person
to do to me.
Yes, I agree with that
I'm gonna
wholeheartedly.
dress right for it. Make sure everything's clean, body's clean. Girl, a little oil.
Will smell good.
On
Put
the
some on the
neck.
pillow too. So you
Thank you. Right?
With your
And I'm gonna a glass of wine because I'm gonna get relaxed because I'm doing this with my man too, I guess.
Yeah.
Wherever he is at some point. But I'm going to you know how that you've heard on Instagram, like romanticizing your life. I'm gonna romanticize the experience of loving myself physically. And that doesn't have to just be like what you consume, like what you eat, what you watch, what you listen to. It's gonna be how you actually like love on yourself, and I'm gonna romanticize that. So that's my tip. It's like make it into a thing. Like there can be no shame if you set up this beautiful, like sanctuary, as we said, and enjoy that this is what I'm doing for myself. Like I'm loving myself. There's no shame in that, period.
I agree with that.
Anything?
I also say, like, if you do feel more comfortable exploring yourself with a partner, I suggest like touching yourself with a partner.
Oh
Like,
God,
I've
girl,
done
that throws me off.
So like
Can't do it.
some of the most intimate experiences I've had is when I'm pleasing myself and my partner is literally right next to me pleasing themselves, and we're like intimate and we're like locking eyes, we're kissing, we're caressing, like moving hands, and we're like literally just exploring our bodies alone but together. And that the intimacy
You got some.
and intimacy is on a whole nother level. And I feel like that's also a good way to practice exploring your body, but taking the shame away, because your partner's there to give you that validation and make you feel like, oh, this kind of fun. This is safe. So I definitely think that's a tip for somebody who is scared of doing it alone, but finds pleasure in exploring things with their partner.
Does that sound weird to you, or does that sound like something you would actually consider?
Consider.
That sounds hella weird to me. Why is that?
Really?
Yeah, there's shame in there.
That's crazy.
What?
Like
That's
y'all
the whole
need-
point of your
No,
partner.
it sounds beautiful. It doesn't sound.
y'all need
it's
all
not
of
a
that to
judgment.
just.
Yeah, for me, my
Like-
block comes when someone else comes. Like for me,
No, I'm just saying, like to pleasure yourself, you need all of that, like vibe and all that.
it's not even a need. It's like a privilege that I am bestowing upon myself.
Men are
that
so
I
different.
can-
Like it could just be like we bored.
I see your little.
I feel you. We just like we bored. Like hey, I got a little 10
I was gonna do
minutes.
that tonight if I wasn't here, huh?
I got 10 minutes in between calls.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like every now and then, I feel like most women can say that they've had a self-pleasure quickie. Like at some point, you still want to do it and get it done.
Healed women.
But yeah, to MJ's
Not a
point,
healed woman, and I remember. Never mind.
I'm like,
I'm not a healed woman, but I know that I'm acknowledging my desires now and my cravings. And so with me honoring it, sometimes I just be like, let me just boom, boom, boom. Like I got a new
right?
toy. Let me just do it. Let me
Yeah.
just try it. It's exciting. This is cool.
Yeah,
And
but
to
you're
MJ's
further
point,
in your
okay.
healing process than you were.
I am.
yesterday.
You're right.
So
You're right. Because this would not have been a
if we were
thing
stuck,
3 years ago.
then it wouldn't be a thing.
Correct. Because it even got to the point, this me being a little bit vulnerable, but also sharing, I feel like what a lot of women in the unhealed state are thinking. It used to be to where if I'm doing something like the self-love, self-pleasure, it cannot be anything that goes like inside me, because that's weird to me. Not now, but that's what my thought process is. Like that's reserved for a man. Like that's what a man's supposed to do. But why? That's what I'm saying. Why?
You tell us.
It was the shame. Like
okay.
that's it. It was the shame surrounding around how dare you use a toy when you got when you could have a man, when you could have me. Like it's those thoughts that men put into you like that's weird for you to do that. It's weird for you to bring that into the room with me. Like if I'm in a relationship,
What did Tommy Davis say? Who are these niggas?
No,
insecure
and that's-
men probably.
Just
'Cause that's the real question.
No, because that's to speak to his point. It's funny because the men who are not the problem always get mad when they or offended when they
Yeah,
hear
I'm
women
offended.
speak on the problem. But it's like if you're if you want to be a good ally or supportive, the one thing I can say to men who are not the problem,
Listen up.
listen when women are telling you that there are men who are the problem. Because if y'all are not listening to us when we're telling you that, then the problem goes unsolved. Because honestly, we've been telling the men that's a problem for years. They a problem. They don't listen to us. But when other men, good men, step up and be like, hey, bruh, you off. Like,
Right.
you a
Spread the
little
word.
weird.
Right.
Like, hey, bruh, we don't treat women like that.
Right.
Then men start to be like, hey, I ain't trying
Noted.
to, you know? And so I
Noted.
think there's a lot of men who, because they're not the problem, they get so offended that they're missing the point that like, hey, bro, you know, it's
Yeah,
men out
not
here
the problem.
I'm
it's
for
men
sure
out here
not.
that's weird.
'Cause-
Like,
'cause-
you need to know that.
Because even when Drina was saying, I was going to mention earlier, but I didn't want to be insensitive because the topic switched a little bit. But even then, I was just like, maybe it was the partner, you know, because then you said it as well. It's
1000%,
like, it's because I'm a very sexual person myself, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm with my woman, then I'm going to make sure she is getting what she needs to and she can explore her body in the comfort of whatever we doing, you know what I'm saying? I also feel like, because I put most of the problems on men. All your problems that y'all talk about, I'll be like,
I love that.
your man could, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like I said, the first one, moving out, your man should be able to teach you this and that, this and that, this and that. Same with this. Like, if you're not comfortable exploring your body, then your man should be able to help you explore your body, because we don't have a problem with exploring our bodies. Like like I said, we get bored. Hey, rub one out real quick. That's the comfort that you should extend that grace to your woman. I'm speaking to the men.
Y'all really do know how to get it every time. Y'all do, and that's why
We could rub up against a couch for 10 minutes, and I promise you, it's gonna be a mess to clean up.
And then with women, like, it's another layer. Like, we're so intricate. Like, we have two ways that we could get it, right? If one way is not working on the outside, you go on the inside and do it, right? But we don't know that if we're ashamed to explore,
Right.
right?
Right.
But when you lose that shame, you start to realize, oh, okay, so I wasn't getting on the outside and I wasn't getting on the inside, but when I do it both at the same time, boom, it's like fireworks. Like you just, it's the release of shame. It's like you have to explore yourself, or else you're not gonna know that. That man not gonna know. He got to do both of those things at once if you don't know. That's the point I'm making.
If your man really love you, he will.
I think even men who love
That's a
you, they
loaded
still be
statement.
needing direction
They need-
sometimes.
y'all not mind readers.
Especially if a man wants to please you. He's
The not knowing how, the wanting is what I'm.
oh yeah,
referring
yeah.
to.
If a man wants to
wanting-
please you, he's gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
He's gonna
think
figure
so?
it out.
He'll ask you.
From my experience, they gonna figure it out.
But he
a
could
man who's
want
really
to.
a caterer, he gonna
But the
because he's
thing-
not gonna be satisfied until he figures it out.
No, but I've had that, and with me, because remember this, I'm just getting into the healed state. Like, I'm just now practicing for my like healthy relationship. I've been with men who were very like really sweet men. I've been with men who was
with
very
men.
right. Because
So when you say man, you talking about one person, right?
right, I'm not. It's not like I've been like with a myriad of men, but I've been with. I'm just speaking of one man in particular who was really. I mean,
That's just him.
just inquisitive and just gentle and kind and still asking questions, like trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, if a woman has not figured it out, how are we
was
going to
he gonna
tell
figure it
you?
out?
Like, you could keep asking me questions, but if I have not taken the space, I mean, we might figure it out. Okay, we might.
And that's where I feel like that's when those times where like you not figuring out, he not figuring out. That's when
It's
you
a
start.
problem.
But I feel like that's when y'all start doing the
trying
couples
to-
touch.
Okay, like, I'ma just figure it out. Like, babe,
I'm
you
gonna be
go over
like,
there.
yeah, I'm like,
I'm
no,
over here.
like I've literally had that situation happen, and like I'll be vulnerable. Like in my situation that I'm dating now, like the intimacy is great, but at the same time, there was times even at the beginning where I was like, oh, hey, like we're still understanding each other's bodies and like each other's intimacy. So why don't you take care of you right here and I take care of me right here, and we still have intimacy because we're doing it together, and then we slowly start to integrate each other into the process, and then it felt like a collaborative thing, and it took the shame away from him to feel like, oh, I'm a man and I can't please my woman, and it took the shame away from me from feeling like, oh, I'm a woman and I don't know how to please my man, and it was like, I'm going to please myself and have autonomy, you're going to please yourself and have autonomy, but because we care and love, we're going to do it together simultaneously.
I really like that. Now, in the perspective of being just single, though, don't know how that's gonna work, but I will keep that in my mind for when I do get with someone, I guess. But single doesn't mean that you're not having sex, though.
Oh, no.
Actually,
Yeah.
Do you feel like you could do that with a partner that you're casual with, like, or does it have to be someone you're in a relationship with?
I wouldn't be casual with a person I couldn't do that with.
But we're talking about for the singles out here.
Yeah, if I was single,
Yeah.
I wouldn't become. So I have standards even for friends with benefits. Like if I couldn't if I don't think you'd be a good parent, if we have a slip up or an accident, if I don't think you're financially stable,
You really got hella brothers. That is some grown man shit to say, because that's go ahead.
like
Continue.
yeah, if I'm like like I'm not trying to be a single mom or whatever, but if for whatever reason there's an accident, like fam, you got a car, you got an apartment, you're self-sufficient, like, and are you a man to where, like, as women, we gonna catch feelings most of the time with a friends with benefits. Are you a man to where if I do accidentally catch feelings for you, I can actually have feelings for you? Because even
accidentally.
right now, like, I'm like, if I'm in a situation where I'm like, I don't want a relationship, you don't either, that's cool. But I want to know that if I do get to the point where I'm in a relationship with you, you're not some cold, jaded, fuck boy.
You're
And you're a
definitely-
man who's open to exploring things sexually, emotionally, whatever, spiritually.
So in short, you saying this don't apply to you. Can't answer the question. Like that's it.
I mean,
Like if I'm even sleeping with you, period,
you gotta, there's standards.
this door has to be like we can do self pleasure together because at this point, if we made it this far, you
would-
already line up.
Because I would never be friends with benefits with somebody who I feel like, even when we're in those intimate times, you don't treat me like I'm your woman. Like when we're being intimate, even if we just friends with benefits, when I come over, did you eat today? Like, you good? Like, let's chill. Like, you know what I like you're catering to me. I feel like that's a
lot.
good friends with benefits because we really friends.
I'm out.
Because
I'm
I'll do
out.
the
Yeah,
same
you-
thing for you.
I'm gonna stop you right there because
treading a thin line.
I
but
am
hear
that
you.
type of man, and I've gotten a lot of trouble with women because of that. Because there is a very, very thin line of being the friends with benefits and then playing quote unquote
The
boyfriend.
boyfriend role.
So it can get tricky.
That's if the woman is not conscious about what she wants. Because if I'm saying I'm looking for friends with benefits, if I'm lying to myself saying, oh, we friends with benefits, but I really want a man, that's where you end up getting those
Okay.
lines
You
where
said you
Maybe
might
maybe they've been
accidentally
lying
catch
to me
feelings.
then because
Yeah. Because if I'm saying, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship, we're just doing, because sometimes friends with benefits get extended for like a year, 2 years, and now we've been benefiting for a year or two. Now things change. I'm like, oh, maybe I am ready for a relationship, and I want to know like if that's something you're open to. But I do think that if for a woman, I don't care how nice, but I also have brothers, but I feel like I don't care how nice a man is to me. If we've agreed we are not crossing certain boundaries romantically, I ain't crossing those boundaries
You
with you
said
romantically.
you might
you got
accidentally.
brothers.
Yeah, I want to know, but that's the
shows.
thing. I also want to know that if I do get those feelings, you're a man who's going to respect those feelings, and you're not going to just treat me like, girl, get out my face. I told you I ain't your girl. I want to know that if even if you don't want to be with me, I want you to have enough respect for me to tell
hear
me,
it.
hey, MJ, I'm not looking for that right now. I really respect you. I respect our vibe. Like, these are the things I'm capable of. These are things I'm not capable of. I'm sorry you caught feelings. If you want to stop, we can stop. If you want to keep going, we can. But I respect you as a person and as a woman. And I want to know that we can still be friends after this. Like, that's some real maturity.
Can I say something to the
And I
fellas?
respect that statement.
Can I say something to the
Go
fellas
ahead,
real
and then
quick?
we go. Yep.
Fellas, if you're listening and you just heard what MJ said, you better take note. Don't be going out
note to everything
here.
she said.
Don't be going out here. When you get to that point, be man enough to have the conversation. Hey, this is something that we're going too far. Let's pull it back together and see how we feel about the situation. If we can't come to an agreement emotionally and you want more and I don't, or vice versa, whatever the case may be, then we need to separate ourselves. Fellas, you're going to have to, most of the time, you're going to have that conversation.
You agree?
I think a lot of times men do have to have that conversation. And I feel like
Women will just keep going along.
they will. And I think that's, for me, why I said it's important for me to date a man who, even if he's not my man, he respects me as such, because a man who don't respect you, he'll just ghost you, or he'll just start treating you like shit and wait until you ghost him. Versus a man who respects you as a person and values you and has some type of love for you as a person, he's going to sit here like, hey, let's go have dinner. Let's go have lunch. I want to talk to you. And he's going to say, hey, I noticed like things are moving kind of fast, faster than I'm ready for. Like, let's slow it down. Or he might be on that page and be like, hey, I'm catching feelings for you.
Right.
But communication and being able to treat me like a human being with respect and decency, and like a woman you appreciate, that is a mandatory thing for me if we're going to be sleeping together.
Period.
Regardless of
so
what the
mature,
dynamic of the
so
relationship.
mature man.
Yeah, for
Period.
sure.
So we're not masturbating with or around or for anybody who's not.
Yeah, if you childish, bro, I ain't got nothing for you. Go talk to your, like, no, I ain't got nothing for you.
All right. I appreciate your contribution to this. We lost Drina for a little bit. She'll be back. But let's go ahead and switch over to segment 3, which is the last one. This is going to be a real quick and easy one. It's called Going Solo. This part of the segment, we're just going to talk about the importance of doing things by yourself. Honestly, no partner involved, just you out there in the world figuring shit out. So let's talk about the importance of that and what catches Drina up when she gets here. So I want to open it by saying solo travel, solo dates. Yay, nay, have you done it? What's up?
Of course. I
To
take
both?
Yeah, I'll go on hikes by myself.
sick of you.
Girl,
Okay.
you know me.
I cannot.
Girl, I go to fitness classes. I go on hikes. I go on trips. Like, I do a lot of stuff by myself, like comfortably. And that was hard for me at first.
What's your
Talk
sign?
about that.
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, I love Capricorn.
Makes
Who are
sense.
you?
Makes sense.
I don't know if we go together or not. I don't know
I
a
think
lot
my
about
mom is a Pisces.
Is she?
Yeah.
I love your mom already.
Okay, yep. That's why y'all
What's her birthday?
March
February-
14th.
oh, okay, shit, March 14th. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. But
What
I
are
do love
you? What is he?
Guy, what are you?
Oh, I'm a Scorpio.
Oh,
My brother's a
I love
Scorpio.
Scorpios. That's my sis. So, Drina, welcome back. We just switched over to going solo. The first thing I said was solo travel, solo dates, yay or nay. So, which one or both? Like, how you feel?
It's a no for me.
For both?
You here by yourself?
It's a no for me.
I love the spectrum here. So,
It's a no
explain.
for me.
No for what? Which part of this?
For everything.
What?
I like-
Okay, talk about
I
it.
like partnership.
Okay.
I want company.
Simple and straight to the point.
I feel that.
She's like,
I've been on
Period.
a date by myself,
how was it?
and I sat in an area where there was nothing but couples. Why the fuck am I here?
Join one of them. Shoot.
Okay.
Where are the singles?
Okay. Okay.
It's
cool.
giving. The universe is telling me that you need to be with company.
I got you. Solo travel? Ever? Maybe? Kinda?
Absolutely not. I always have this fear that I'm going to get kidnapped.
Oh, so I do have that same.
Fun story.
that.
Fun story.
Look at me.
Sidebar. Drina and I did go to Rome together
I think
a
I'm in
couple
my-
years ago.
Teens.
And she got stuck in Rome and freaked
I
the
cried.
fuck out for 24 hours. Did not leave the airport.
Nope.
She was, and was freaking out. Rome.
Boy, I was in China for damn near 2 days. Don't know where the hell I was.
Roman.
Rome in the city. Like,
Hey, how nice it is to be a man.
No, yeah, no. I
How
do
nice
feel
it
you
is
on
to
the
be
that
kidnap
is a privilege that us
Yeah,
men
yeah,
do
yeah.
have. That is
Yeah.
a privilege.
People think I'm in my teens still.
Yeah.
I think that makes you
I look
target.
like I can be sex trafficked.
That's
And
the
you can see
thing.
That's a
too. You
crazy
small. I
thing
can
to
just throw you
say.
in a trunk
Okay.
somewhere.
It's
That's the
giving
thing.
no.
It's giving that's
no.
crazy.
Okay. I respect this.
It's
That's
giving
it.
no. Absolutely. Company me, please.
Yeah, okay, got
Need
you.
a bodyguard.
Yes.
Period.
Thank you.
And as
Can't
per
pay you.
usual,
But you'll
You paid in
you can just be with me.
per usual, I'm somewhere in the middle. Done it, but don't prefer it. But done it.
Really?
Done it, but don't prefer it. Yeah.
Like, what
And
did you do as your solo?
My solo, I went to India and couch surfed with this family. I went to Coachella by myself and slept in at this campsite with all these people I never met. I went to Sydney, Australia, stayed at a hostel, met all these people, went to South Africa by myself, made friends with the locals. Like, you know what I
enjoy
mean?
it?
It's not that I didn't
Yeah.
enjoy it. I enjoyed it for what it was, like a good experience, a good story, if you will. Because I was just like, but at the end of the day, to Drina's point, it's just like, I really want company because I'm so, I'm such an emotion person. I need to relive this experience, like, with someone. I don't want to tell you the story and, like, it just be my story. You know, I did it, so, I mean, I've done it. But I want to be able to like retell this story with somebody and we laugh so hard about the shit that happened.
So,
And that's
yeah.
what I really appreciated it. So I did it and I was like, cool, but not for me. I'm not scared to do it. I did it. I did crazy stuff, but not for me.
I like
It's not
both
for me.
equally. Like
Ooh,
me.
okay, talk
and-
about it.
So me and the person I've been seeing, like we've gone on trips and done little like activities and excursions and stuff together,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the best moments of my life. Yet I've also done things like I love a good solo hike. Like I will load up my Jeep with my dog.
Now, that's different. We didn't talk
know?
about local, but keep going.
Girl, I would drive 3-4 hours away. Like
That's fine too.
But yeah, I feel like just even taking myself to brunch, taking myself to do anything, like I definitely feel like the like empowerment, I guess I feel, and then also like the peace and the oneness I feel with myself. Plus I also feel like
Relying on yourself for
it
everything.
pushes me to connect with the world around me and not just with my comfort zone. Because I think a lot of times, just as humans, we get so caught up in what makes us comfortable and we get so caught up in our paradigm. Like, what is my life? What is my family? What is my friends? And we lose our connection to society and to the world. And I feel like sometimes I've noticed when I go out completely on my own without my comfort zone,
Talk about it. What you about to
I
say?
feel so connected with the world world around me, with strangers, with nature, with I feel more connected when I'm
People
alone.
will talk to you when you're alone, and that's the
You might meet your
bittersweet-
person when you're alone. I've
Period,
noticed that too.
right.
When I'm alone,
People talking to
everybody
you.
want to come talk to me. Everybody want
People-
to buy you a drink or buy you lunch and ask, why are you alone?
I will say that in each international experience, we didn't talk about domestic, but in each international experience, I made friends. I just didn't like it. I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, but we're still friends. But now I'm gonna switch over. Now domestically, I'll go far and wide. I'll
Okay.
go the East Coast, West Coast. I'll do hikes alone. I'll
Okay.
do whatever because to me that feels comfortable and safe.
Okay.
International, I think the biggest part was a safety thing. So I'm not even gonna hold you there. It was like I do feel like I can't be my feminine, like, you know, we like to
You
dress
can't
up.
let yourself
Yeah,
be
you
too
can,
free.
I
'Cause,
can't
girl,
put
you
on my
will.
lashes. I can't have my camera out doing stuff. And I'm like, so this is not, you know, this is giving,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you just gotta be, it just wasn't me.
No, that makes sense,
Right.
though.
But
The safety
when I'm
aspect, for
here in the US, no, I would definitely do all of the above alone. And I do love the story of like how I survived whatever it was. So I will, and the friends that I made and the stories that I have to tell, but it's mostly just a story. So I do in that regard appreciate your perspective on that.
I feel unsafe in both.
You like ain't having none of it.
Internationally and domestically. But all jokes aside, it's primarily because I'm very naive.
Okay.
Right? So
So
I'm
self-awareness.
guarded to a certain extent, but like if I feel comfortable to talk, I don't judge people very well. Right?
Yeah.
So you could be the most terrible person in the fucking world, and I won't be.
You're a
able to
very
tell.
accepting
But
person.
do
From the
you
very first time I
feel-
met
I
you,
won't
you were
know.
a very like open, loving, kind of like
Yes,
everybody
and I think
can
that's
be a family.
it's
yeah.
beautiful, but it's also a
Yeah.
fault. So I can't trust people. So traveling alone for me, internationally or domestically, is a no go.
Do you feel like there's any room then for, because the only way that you would learn to sharpen those instincts would be to go out and do it. Do you have any desire to, no desire?
Also fear based.
Well, we don't claim fear over here.
Yeah.
I do think the fact that you're conscious of the fact
That's
that
the
you're
start.
such an open person and that you're quote unquote
It can be taken
naive
advantage
makes you
of.
not naive though. Cause like if you
You're not
know
naive.
you have that blind spot, it's like, okay, this is just a part of my personality that is a beautiful part of my personality.
can be
but
taken
yeah,
advantage of.
other people will take
Yeah.
advantage of it. And so I think just being conscious of that and understanding like what environments you can thrive in
Mm-hmm.
versus what environments somebody like me who can thrive in. Cause I'm like, my head on the swivel. I'm
Yeah.
all of y'all, what's going on? So I'm like, just knowing
Yeah.
your personality and what situations your personality thrives in, I think is important.
And
too.
then my personality was such, I love that we're so different. Mine was that not only was I naive, but I was also not fearful. So I was out here doing crazy shit. And like God really had his hand on me.
Oh, for
and then I still was like, at the end of the day, I was like, did it, survived it, I'm good. Right. And I still will, but I just don't want to. But I'm asking, do you feel like the next part of we're on healing journeys, all of us, the next part of your healing journey would push you to sharpen the instincts to go out and do something? Or are you not interested in that type of?
I don't think it's that I'm not interested. I think, the biggest part of my life or my journey on earth is guidance,
Guidance? Receiving guidance? Is that what you're saying?
receiving guidance.
Okay.
Yeah. And I second guess my own intuition. Right? So I think that if I have that part of my life, I'll be more comfortable to just go out there and put myself out there.
I hear you. But because I'm your friend, I also feel like,
20 years?
yeah, for 20, we about to be at 20 years of
Part of the
friendship.
shelter,
Yeah.
part of my life.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, because we were in the same space
Yeah.
together. And so I hear you, meaning I feel you. Like I was there. It's not like I'm just listening. I'm like, okay, I understand. And being where I am now, which is not full, we not on MJ level, girl. Bless your heart. I love it.
I mean, I feel like
Everybody on different levels. But I feel like I have moved significantly, and you've even told me I've moved significantly, which is so crazy. And that's why I'm like, I hear you, and I'm not even gonna push you. I'm not even gonna like.
Can I ask y'all this? Like where y'all from? Like what coast?
I don't
What
even
coast?
know what to say
Yeah.
about that.
Like where would you consider you spent most of the majority of your life? It ain't gotta be like I don't need your
East.
block or nothing like that. We're not gangbanging.
I would say
right.
the majority of my life has been like the last 14 years has been technically Georgia.
Georgia? What about you, Gina?
Technically,
Tampa.
Tampa? What about you, MJ?
Cali.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? Looking at the different.
Yeah, I could definitely,
Coast to coast
I
wise?
can definitely see the culture in between the coasts for sure.
Correct. Like we already know, Cali is y'all are
different.
high consciousness. Like
It's not
that's why
even
I'm
high.
moving over here.
It's not even high consciousness.
You don't think that's what this is?
I think we just more real with I don't want to say. I think we're more grounded when it comes to like the reality of situations. Like, because I've been around, I've traveled. You know, I've traveled like to many different countries. I've been to majority, like probably like all the states in the U.S. I've noticed like a lot of California women tend to be more like, this is what it is. This is what it's gonna be,
Love that.
and you like it or love it.
But you could say that about New York women too. That's East Coast.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
I said,
Like-
that's my next point.
I was like, we know them
women
for
is definitely
sure.
like
But
that.
they are just straightforward and mean. Doesn't mean that they're aware of what's going on.
That's
you know what I'm
like the
saying?
consciousness,
Like
I'm telling you.
it could be. As a matter of fact, I
It's
retract
something
what I
different
said. You
going
might be
on over
right.
Here.
Where the conscious people at over here? Because I have a problem finding conscious. That's why I be
But
You
no,
the
but
light.
all on the whole
but
other
when
You
we
the
say-
light friend. I'm coming. I'm
when
on
we
my
say-
like, I
way.
be calling
When
you.
we say
I'm on my
conscious,
way.
it don't got to be like Eric Benet. We all dressed in linen. You know what I'm saying? It's just a realness. You know, I know what it is. I know exactly what
Tell
it
us.
is.
Tell us.
It's
Tell us.
it's the isms in
Isms?
the state of California.
Come on.
Isms like pimping and hoeing type shit. Y'all don't know?
No.
I know. You from the Bay, huh?
I knew. Oh my God.
It's very much like, and it has nothing to do with that per se. It's just we're very
The
like,
mentality of it, or the
like, we get
communication
to
of it, like. it
like
is
you know what I'm
what it
saying.
is.
When we is this and that, we this, we that. No, all right, cool, boom, 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 and then
It's
even
the
the,
whoop de whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whoop de
and
whoop.
even the women kind of understand that a little bit. But you know, that's just I was looking at the culture, like the coastal differences, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I agree. That's why we're attracted to the West Coast. That's why we're always over here. Just need you to know.
And we love y'all being over here.
Yeah, and
Every time.
it's about to be permanent. Like we're making it happen. So
ASAP, like
hurry up.
now,
yesterday,
right?
So okay, let's talk about, and then we're gonna wrap this up because this is it. The importance. Like, what is the importance then, if any? Because I know you said it's not necessary, but did you say that it was important? No, because it's not important either for you to be going out and doing solo stuff. Actually, clear me up. Is it that you're just not interested, even though you find it important, or
No,
is it not important?
No, I
either?
think it is
Okay.
important. But for me personally, it's all fear based.
Okay, so you're just like, if I could, I would.
I could, I would.
Okay, I respect
Yeah.
that. That's why she was saying you're right at the cusp of about to do it. Watch, you're about to do it.
Okay.
This is the same girl who moved out to LA by herself, literally.
Well, let's not.
You
say
didn't
that
live alone, but I get it.
didn't
You
live alone.
but you definitely moved
much. But I
out. You
did
didn't know
back up and
anybody.
Say, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so
we
this
don't
is the
just
same
let's
girl.
try
Call
it
that.
out.
We gonna claim that for you.
Right. So you
Even
did
if it's just a little brunch by yourself.
new jobs,
Claim that.
new community,
New
new
jobs,
friends.
new friends,
Yeah.
new everything.
Amazing. So I'm like,
I loved it.
yeah, you're on the
loved
cusp
it.
of something, but you're right, fear based, and even that experience, I would say, contributes to your fear again. But like, we're gonna release it, and you're gonna be right back at her doing the same stuff. So I'm claiming that. So importance wise, so I'm glad we're all on the same page. So importance wise, what is the importance then if we're thinking about moving into a healthy relationship after our singlehood? We're being intentional and being single. What is the importance then of going out solo? Solo travel, solo trips. Anything?
Yeah,
Anything to give?
I think it's important, especially because once you get into a relationship, no matter how much you have in common with somebody, you're gonna realize you and your partner need that alone time and feeling comfortable doing things on your own. Because it's like, so for me, like I do prefer to do things with my partner. I'm like, oh, can we do everything together? Like I
your
do.
skin.
Yeah, girl, I'd be saying, I'm like, can I get in your skin? Like literally.
I can't even imagine.
So definitely I feel that, but I have noticed that it is nice to be able to have the confidence or the wherewithal to be like, I'm going to do things by myself. And that's something I actually struggled with in the past. So I get what you're saying. Like from experience, I used to be a very like fearful person. And now I'm more on the opposite side. I'm like, girl, I don't know what's going to happen. I might die today, but we going to
I'm
figure
excited.
it out. Like
It's for the- I'm
I'ma
telling you, it's
just
for the
pray
journey
first.
of it.
Yeah, I'm
It's for
literally
the
just going to pray and
journey.
see what happens. So I've been on both sides of that spectrum. And I feel like seeing who I was in relationships when I was fearful versus seeing who I am in relationships now that I'm like fearless. I feel
Ooh.
like that what I was able to bring to myself, but also being able to provide to my partner, I feel like is invaluable. And I wouldn't have probably gotten that if I wasn't able to conquer that fear of like being, I guess, on my own or doing things on my own.
And I love how what you're describing to me is kind of like, oh, because we're reading the energy codes right now. Shout out to that.
Yes.
Would be, tell me if I'm right or wrong, something like a quantum flip. So instead of looking at me going out solo as like something that I'm fearing, like you are describing like where you have changed your perspective and you're like, no, I get to like I'm gonna pray and see what life is about to bring me with this journey. Like I'm gonna get excited about it, even though it's scary, because I know like that something
Exactly.
is gonna happen, and I'm gonna embrace it. And I know that whatever happens is gonna be for my benefit,
And to
but
help
also
me grow.
yes, but also to the benefit of those around me that I love. It's gonna be to everybody's benefit. So whatever it is,
Even if it's
bound,
bad, it's
bound
gonna
to
work
help.
out. Yeah.
Period. So good, bad, even if somebody do try to, God forbid, mug me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, head gonna be on a swivel now, and it's gonna be for my benefit and whoever I love. So I feel like you're describing like changing your perspective on like the idea of going out. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Do you have any last thoughts about like the importance of going solo before you get into that long-term relationship? Practical advice then. So it seems like embracing independence and freedom, like before you get into this relationship, developing positive mindsets about being single, and then also just exploring on your single journeys, on your solo trips, like hobbies, things, experiences, food that bring you joy, and like looking at it from that perspective. Like if I'm going out, I'm gonna go out and do something different and just see if I like this. Like literally just making it about like me discovering what I might like that's new today, and bringing that with you to whoever your future partner is. And I feel like that's some practical advice. Just honestly, the whole of it is perspective shift. Like, I get to do this. I get to be this today, alone or whatever, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's it, ladies. I'm so happy that you came here. So we covered, okay, help me out. We covered the art of living alone. Sex for One Please, which was my favorite. Loved it. And going solo. You guys have brought really amazing thoughts and perspectives to the conversation today, and I appreciate it. Guy, you have any last thoughts? Things you want to say to the fellas out there?
Yeah, no, not to the
No?
fellas, not at
Get your
all.
act together.
But you guys look lovely up there, and you guys did an amazing job, and I'm happy to be a part of the
you.
conversation.
I can't wait. Next time, we're going to try to figure out, like, I think I'm going to figure out what to do before we seal the deal. I think we're going to talk about that. You know what seal the deal is? Right. So we're going to talk about before you seal the deal. I'm talking about sex.
Oh, I was like, sex or
Girl,
marriage? I
I'm
was
talking
one of
about,
the
no,
two.
Yeah, I was
I'm talking about
confused.
I
sex.
thought she was talking about marriage for a
No,
second.
because I'm nowhere near marriage, so we can't talk about
Okay.
anything I don't know about. But we're going to talk about on the next episode what to do before you seal the deal. Well, maybe we'll have some friends on here on the next episode too, right? All right. Well, we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you for joining us for LOL Trust Me. Bye.
That was fun.
You know what I realized? We never used the tagline. I never